Hey, what's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and we are going to be discussing what is a middle bet. What is a middle bet? How can you use a middle betting tool to find value as a sports bettor? So, we're actually going to be looking at a bet from the Canadian Football League. So, no NFL, not a lot of people care about the CFL, but the same concepts apply to betting on football, college football, NBA, and this video is pretty interesting, so I hope you enjoy it. So we have the Rough Riders at the Edmonton Elks, and if we look at the middle betting tool on OddsJam, there's this little help icon. If you have any questions, about this, or you can comment below, whatever's helpful. You can see the first middle bet available is in the Edmonton Elks versus Rough Riders game. And what this tool will essentially show you, what a middle is it shows you when sportsbooks are setting the line at different levels, right? Maybe one sportsbook has the total set at 49.5, and another sportsbook has the line set at 52.5, right? That's a middle you want to know about as a sports bettor because that's a big line discrepancy, right? 3 points is a big difference. So if we end up clicking into the odds for, this game, we can see in Arizona, where I'm currently located, FanDuel has the total set at 49.5. Pinnacle has the total set at 50, right? This is the sharpest bookmaker, and they're juicing, the under heavily, right? They have the under minus 125. And then DraftKings has it a bit higher, over under 50.5, right? So, of course, if I'm a sports bettor, and I want to bet on this Canadian football game, or, the same rules basically apply to the NFL or any other sport, right? If I wanted to bet on the over, it would obviously make sense, right, to place my bet on FanDuel, right? Because over 49.5 is going to cash more often than over 50.5, right? If this game ends on exactly 50 points, my bet on FanDuel would have won if I took the over, and my bet on DraftKings would have lost, right? Because I have over under 50.5. So even though these outcomes of scoring exactly 50 points in a game seem pretty rare, there's like noticeable jumps in the odds in the NBA, for example, as you go from a plus 7.5 point spread to a plus 8.5. Even though it seems like these things aren't happening frequently, they matter in the odds, right? They matter in the long run if you are trying to be a statistically profitable sports bettor, a positive EV bettor. So long story short, once we click into this game, we can see, this is a line discrepancy, right? There's a full point of difference between FanDuel and DraftKings. And then what we can also see is Pinnacle. They have the under juice to the tune of minus 125 plus 107. So if we throw in Pinnacle's market, right, into a zero vig odds calculator, we can see that they're pricing the under 50 points in this Elks Rough Riders game at minus 125. They're pricing the over at plus 107. So if you put that into a no vig fair odds calculator, which is the most important calculator, on OddsJam, it's very important as a sports bettor. I'd highly recommend, you check it out, you read this text, is based on their market, which only has 18 cents in market width between plus 107 and minus 125, you can see that once you remove the juice from the market, you can see what their model is implying the true price for the wager is. So for the under 50 points, which is juiced to minus 125, the fair line, the true odds, once you remove the juice, would be minus 115. Whereas the over 50 points would be plus 115, right? That is the sportsbook's true odds based on their model. But of course, that's not the price they give you because this market has no profit margin baked in for the sportsbook. They have to vig their markets, right? Then the sportsbook adds their juice. Instead of giving you what they believe the true odds or the fair odds are, plus 115, they give you plus 107 on the over. So anyways, why is this interesting? How does this relate to middle bets? Is essentially, you can see that, Pinnacle believes the under 50, the sharpest bookmaker believes the under 50 points should be priced at minus 115, right? And we're able to get minus 50.5, which is half a point better, at minus 110, right? So this is definitely a bet we want to be on because on top of, if this bet were at over under 50, it would be positive EV, right? It would be on the OddsJam positive EV betting tool, and we would have hit it. But because this is on the middle tool, you can see this bet's actually better than expected, right? Because not only is the over under 50, the under 50 has true odds, fair odds of minus 115, but we're also getting an additional half a point, right? If you bet on the over under 50 and there's exactly 50 points, your bet pushes. If you bet on the over under 50 and a half and there's exactly 50 points, then my bet on DraftKings will win. So this is a really good bet. Again, found on the middles tool. So just kind of showing you how you can think about sports betting in a rational, data-driven way. And you can see another one right here, right? In this tennis match. You can see every single, sportsbooks are setting the line for this tennis match at 21.5, right? Whereas on Prize Picks, I apologize, the DFS operator, you can get this line at 22.5, right? Sportsbooks are pricing this kind of mixed between the over and the under being juiced at 21.5. We can pick up a whole additional game on Prize Picks under 22.5. So if you were looking for a good, sharp play to include in your Prize Picks entry, this would be a great one for today. So anyways, you can use the middle tool as a DFS player, as a sports bettor to spot value, and then just kind of run yourself through the math, take yourself through the math, and we can see, again, if a bet is already good for the over under 50, and then you get an additional half a point, this bet is an absolute slam. So we'll go ahead, we'll lock it in. Maybe one of my first Canadian Football League bets ever. So we got the Edmonton Elks, we got the Rough Riders, under 50.5 points, minus 110 odds on DraftKings. Let me know if you like it. Comment questions below. You can book a call with the sports betting expert. Really, we're just here to help you make money. So I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.